Harvard University commencement was this past weekend, and the students decided to protest as a walkout in solidarity with the 13 Harvard students that have been denied their degree. Now, this goes against what the university said that they were going to do. They said that they would not prevent any of those students from obtaining their degree, those that participated in the encampments, but apparently they have decided to backtrack on that, at least for 13 students. And so I'm so proud of the students at Harvard University. But before we get into the walkout, which I thought was just amazing, I want to show you what one of the faculty members had to say in reference to the legalities of the situation and the steps that they took before they decided to do the walkout. This is important. She was actually on Democracy Now! 1,000 plus Harvard students walk out of commencement. That number is important because mainstream media have been reporting that as hundreds of Harvard students. 1,000 plus Harvard students and faculty walked out. So listen to the steps they took prior to the protest.
And having pursued multiple avenues to try to encourage authorities within the university to understand that from the students' perspective and from our perspective, this was an egregious departure from past precedent. We found ourselves in the unusual situation of being told that 13 students weren't going to graduate anyway. And so we looked very carefully at our rights within the university statutes and determined that as a faculty, we actually have the right to present a motion to, an amendment to the motion through which we decide which degrees to confer, adding those students' names back in. And that amendment received overwhelming support at the degree conferral meeting of the Faculty of Arts and Sciences.
So did everyone hear what she just said there? So those 13 students that were removed from the graduation list, they actually have a process at Harvard where they can actually add those names back in. So that's what they did. They went through the process to add those students' names back in.
And so we hoped then that the corporation, as it has always done in the past, would accept our recommendations for degree recipients and allow the 13 to graduate, which they chose not to do.
That's right. So I wanted everyone to hear that just so they understand that, because for all the people who want to criticize the protesters and say this was a commencement, like this is for the family members and they want to have good memories of, you know, their kid graduating from college. I totally get that. But I do also want you to understand that they took the steps that were necessary to put those students' names back on that list so that those students could graduate and could receive their degree. So what else are you supposed to do after that? The next step is to protest, right? The next step is to protest. So it started with this. There was a giant sign outside of the Harvard gates. It says, "Good morning from Harvard's commencement." And the sign here, I want to show it to you. It says, "Harvard funds genocide. Welcome all." Welcome, parents, family, friends. We just want you to know what you're about to get yourself into, or the institution is getting itself into. There was a student that gave a speech at the Harvard Kennedy School graduation, and I want you to hear what he had to say. His speech is also obviously in support of solidarity with Palestine. He's wearing the keffiyeh during this speech. And the Kennedy School is pretty iconic. We're talking about, there's a lot of politicians that graduated from Harvard Kennedy School. Obviously, I think you all know who it's named after. So there's a lot of significance here. Listen to what he had to say.
To address the urgency of the moment we find ourselves in. We are witnesses to a world that is in upheaval. We're in America, the supposed shining city on the hill. We can denounce the invasion of Ukraine, yet we drive the genocide and occupation of Palestinians and use police force to brutalize young people who dare speak up against it. Upon our graduation from Harvard, we enter the world with a degree from an institution that has profited off and continues to aid in the annihilation of 40,000 Palestinians in Gaza, including 15,000 children. An institution that uses its soft power to prop up an apartheid regime. While we celebrate our graduation, Harvard University, threatened by the student uprising for Palestinian liberation, has chosen to withhold degrees from our peers, who have not only fulfilled every graduation requirement, but more importantly, who have exemplified veritas through their dissent. While these students may not leave with the degrees they rightfully earned, they will walk out of Harvard's gates with something far more important: a clear conscience and a proof of resolute commitment to humanity. Take courage from their steadfastness and honor their sacrifice by using your degree to speak out for the oppressed. While Harvard punishes its pro-Palestine students, the ongoing Nakba in Gaza represents the very worst of the status quo. All universities are decimated. Journalists have been killed en masse. Children are still buried under the rubble of their homes, hospitals, and schools. All of this occurring in the past 7 months alone with the complicity of this institution and nation. But even amidst this catastrophe, spanning back over 76 years, we find the best of humanity. Last year, members of my cohort and I visited occupied Palestine. We saw resilience. We saw resilience take the form of indigenous farming practices, the preservation of heritage through art, and the beauty of community and solidarity as resistance. The struggle for Palestinian liberation embodies all the ideals we came to Harvard to actualize. And the humanitarian crisis in Gaza demands the praxis to our motto to ask what you can do. I want to close with the words of Ruha Benjamin. My hope is for us to craft the worlds we cannot live without, just as we dismantle the ones we cannot live within. As we leave this place, we will be told that casualties are inevitable, that we cannot solve all the world's ills, that there are impenetrable barriers to our dreams. But do not let that deter you. Center the hope that brought you here in the first place, and work with the conviction that tomorrow's world is ours to build. And we will do so unapologetically, with unfettered optimism, and hand in hand with one another. Congratulations to the class of 2024.
So a great speech there. And I think, and I already saw some of the comments in the chat, same thing. I think this is what some of us were expecting Morehouse to do. Not only that, but also walking out, which I think would have been far more powerful to just get up and walk out. So they did do that at Harvard University. And what I really love about this is the fact that there were faculty members that walked out with the students. So they did not let these students stand alone. And that is what solidarity looks like. And I want to be very clear here. There is a difference between unity and solidarity. People still going around asking for unity. And I've told you guys before, I am past unity. Stop coming to me and asking me if I want to unite with somebody. You have to go further than that, especially during these times. People are looking for solidarity. For those faculty members to get up and walk out with those students, especially knowing they did not have to. They did not have to. It didn't apply to them. The 13 students that were prevented from getting their degrees, that is not, the faculty members, that doesn't affect them. So they didn't have to walk out. There aren't faculty members that were punished in this way or any sort of way like that at Harvard, right? So by them choosing to get up and walk out with the students, they are showing solidarity with the students. What that means is that they are putting their needs before their own. And that is what we need to strive towards in this country. I'm tired of people saying we need to unite with people. Uniting with people means nothing if at the end of the day, they're not willing to put your needs before their own. That's the reality of it. So the walkout starts here. So you guys can see commencement at Harvard particularly for Harvard College, which is the undergraduate school at Harvard, it happens on the yard here. So it's outside. Watch this. And you'll want to focus on the middle here because you'll see them come down. So they're chanting, let them walk, right? So again, they wouldn't let the 13 students walk.
Let them walk, 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 let them walk.
You going, Sasha?
I confer on you the degree of Master of Science or Master of Engineering and affirm that you stand ready
Tim McCarthy's walking around.
to cite challenges through foundational science, organizational thinking. Congratulations.
So you see how many people are getting up to walk out with them again. So it's not just about those 13 students. All the other students are saying, you know what, we're going to stand in solidarity with you. And that includes the faculty members as well. Guys, this made mainstream news. This was national news. This is an effective protest. You see the difference between what happened here and what happened at Morehouse? There's more. Going to go on because some of you saying, oh, they didn't get a chance to, have their commencement, etc. Well, they kind of did their own commencement. You can also see it here. I want to bring up this clip as well.
Let them walk, 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 let them walk.
So I'll try to point out faculty, okay? So these are either PhD students or faculty. So sometimes faculty and PhD students wear the same robe, right? With the 3 bars here. But I saw some faculty I'll point to in just a second. And I wanted to pause it right here because I want to show you something. For the number of people on mainstream media that says Black students are not participating in this, and I told you that was a lie, that was a lie. And you can also see that here. Here's Black students here. And notice the sign that's held up here. Actually, I think this is a banner. Notice the banner that they're holding up here. That banner says land back. Mm-hmm. So pay attention, folks.
Let them walk, 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 let them walk.
There was faculty there. Sorry, they're walking fast. I was trying to grab them. Here's faculty right here as well coming up.
Let them walk, 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 let them walk.
This gentleman here with the cane. So you see this? This is what solidarity looks like.
Let them walk, 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 let them
It's kind funny because you can still hear them making the speeches in the background. This is faculty right here, right? You guys can probably tell. There's signs that say free Rafa.
Let them walk! Let them walk! Let them walk! Let them walk! Let them walk!
This one here says 35,000 plus killed, free Palestine. Obviously I don't think they can see us considering everything that's going on, but I wonder how people in Gaza feel, how they would feel to see this right now, to see all these kids, coming out in support or doing as much as they can, right? I wonder how they would feel. Yeah, so it was just funny because they're still speaking in the background. They're still speaking or trying to do the speeches. And there was actually this video from this student here that I also want you to see. The police are actually telling him he can't be there. So this is actually the start of all of this. During commencement, HUPD told a pro-Palestinian organizer he was trespassing and arbitrarily escorted him out. Finally, after the registrar and dean intervening, the student was permitted to return to commencement. So obviously he has a keffiyeh on him, but watch what happens here with the police.
Just relax for a minute. You're telling me I can't. What am I doing?
1 minute. Tell me what to do. Okay, go up the stairs. We're going to get out.
Why do I need to walk up the stairs?
Because you're going to be asked to leave. Okay, the commanding officer of the police department is coming here.
Why am I being asked? I'm a graduate.
So you see that? And that's probably because they saw the keffiyeh, although there are a lot of students with the keffiyeh. So he was almost kicked out of there, even though obviously he's there to graduate. It's just wild and crazy, man. But then there's this video here of them walking down Mass Ave. And this is the one that really warms my heart here. More video of the walkout that occurred today during Harvard's graduation. Students and faculty left in support of Palestine, and the 15, I think it's supposed to be 13, seniors having their degrees withheld for protesting a genocide. This is walking right down Mass Ave, folks. Check this out. Oh, look, again, there's black students. Remember people telling you the black students are not participating in these protests? Oh, but what do you see there? More black students, right? So that was them walking down Mass Ave. Now, some of you are probably wondering, like, okay, but they didn't get to participate in commencement. Listen, I've been to multiple commencements. Commencement is actually really boring. Most of us are just sitting there so that we can hear our name called and walk up on the stage and get our degree. And that's it. That's it. That's pretty much what most of us are waiting there for. If you have like a phenomenal speaker, sometimes celebrities will speak at some of the colleges here in Massachusetts. So if you have a celebrity speaker, you might be kind of excited about that. But other than that, you're really just waiting for your name to be called so you can walk across the stage and grab a piece of paper. Now, for me, my diploma wasn't handed to me when I walked across the stage. They had to mail it to you at my school. So I'm not sure if Harvard gives you the actual one. But a lot of schools give you a piece of paper that says congratulations, yada, yada, but the actual diploma is delivered via mail. They decided to have their own commencement, fam. They decided to have their own commencement. You got to give it up for them, folks. This is called the People's Commencement. Check this out. I love this. I love it.
In this spirit, we call into the space all those who are not able to be present with us today. The Indigenous people who have been displaced and removed, our people of conscience who are incarcerated and living in exile, our North Stars, Leonard Peltier, Mumia Abu Jabal, Azara Shakur, and every Palestinian prisoner who deserves rest, celebration, and the community that we have today.
Did you notice that she gave a shout out to the political prisoners like Leonard Peltier, Mumia, right? So these students, like I told you before, they are very much aware of what is going on.
Institution's commencement views the paper of a Harvard diploma as an opening to the gates of enlightenment. But the people's commencement understands that it is the spirit of resistance as exemplified through the martyrs of Palestine who light the path forward for us all.
The whole class, Free University of Palestine, in the yard, 2024, I salute you.
This room is beautiful. It's filled with community. But in Gaza, rooms like this have been reduced to rubble. Professors who should be submitting final grades said their final words. Every yamma, every yaba, every name. Annat tusamma Palestine. Enough for me to die on her earth.
Yeah, and it was great that, again, faculty members there with them as well. So they decided to have their own commencement. Can you blame them? But the room and the people. So I want to show you this. If you go to this account here on Twitter called Harvard Out of Occupied Palestine, and you'll be able to see a lot of the video footage here. Here's another one. It says students at Harvard Law School, Divinity School, Medical School, Graduate School of Education, and Business School dropped banners at graduation to call for a free Palestine and divestment. Check this out. I think I have to keep the volume. Yeah, I have to keep the volume off on this one. But so here are these students walking across the stage. Palestine will be free. Harvard legalizes genocide. See this? Free Palestine. Amazing. Nakba never ended. So you see, this is what I think people were expecting Morehouse to do. Divest. So there are all the signs there. Harvard funds genocide. It would have been much more powerful. Apartheid will fall. Look at this one. Sorry, I gotta cut the music. This is the one I wanted to highlight as well. Look at her sign. Sudan, Congo, Palestine. As I told you guys, these kids are very much aware of what is going on. This is not our parents' generation. This is not my generation. I'm a millennial, so this isn't my generation. But this is the future. And this is what the billionaire class, this is what the establishment, this is what they are trying to prevent. They don't want this to be the future. And that is why they're trying to silence these kids. This is why they are doing these things to them. But I am incredibly, incredibly proud of the students and all the efforts that they made, because at the end of the day, and not just the students, but the faculty members who decided to stand up with them. And here's the one I was looking for. This one's really great too. All of the students, the People's Commencement. Look at this one here. got the drum line. Even the drum line showed up, you guys. Even the drum line showed up. That is what I am talking about. So this is the future. This is what we have to look forward to. And it makes me very happy. Makes me very happy. Now, to Morehouse. This is what we wanted you to do. Now compare this to what happened at Morehouse. Think about that. Kudos to the kids. Eric, we can go to part 2 of Type V and C when you're ready. Kudos to the students. Really appreciate you. Doing the damn thing. Let's go to some of the comments here. LPA Film said, I was speaking with my nurse this morning while watching Rising, and she had no idea there were third parties, let alone the Green Party. I think a lot of people just don't know. I really do. I think a lot of people don't even know what the Green Party is or any third party, right? Shout out to Delthea, who's been a member for 33 months. Holy crap. There is a reason why you can name Morehouse radical graduates. It's because the list ain't that damn long. Morehouse is the establishment. There you go. And Harvard is too. But I feel like this newer generation is willing to push back, you know? Thank you for the super chat, Wendy. It is hard to turn down financial stability, and the students and professors were willing to risk that. Yes, they were. That's right. Robert says, effing Morehouse. Yeah, I know, man. The Oracle. Now that's how you do the damn thing. That's right. And everyone is talking about it. It's all over the media. It was the first thing I saw. I was like, holy crap, they did it, you know? Shout out to Cosmos for the super sticker. Thank you. Spark Joy. I didn't go to my graduation at McGill. I had third row seats for Depeche Mode and met them after the show and partied with them at a club. Depeche Mode was okay. I didn't know they still performed. Danced with Martin Gore and Allen, played pool with Andrew Fletcher. Well, that sounds like a much more exciting time than sitting through commencement. And Sparkjoy also says that Ralph Nader figures there's over 200,000 dead. Yeah, he said if we do the math, estimating the number of bombs that were dropped. Yeah. Ted says Palestinian children have made signs thanking the students. Thank you, Ted. That's good to know. Dwayne says, just wait until the DNC. That's why they're trying to move it online. They're thinking about having the DNC online because they're afraid there are going to be protests. No, face your people. Face the people. You need to answer to these people, right? Don't run and hide. People, we can get online too. Thank you, Emily. As a Palestinian Canadian, I am proud of these people. I have seen videos of people in Gaza who have seen videos of the encampment, and it gives them hope. Love what you do, Sabby. Keep on keeping on. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Troy. This is making me so emotional, so proud of them. I know, right? I love it. Thank you, Delthea. My eyes are full of tears. My heart is full of pride. Bless the righteous students and faculty of Harvard. That's right. Thank you, GDNPB. Sunak once out before World War III. Interesting. Thank you, Lorez. Hope this energy continues, not just Palestine. I hope so too. I think it will. Remember, it is election year, so keep that in mind too. And thank you, Andre. Morehouse is deep in respectability politics. Aye. I guess so. I guess so.